Welcome back guys. In this class we're going to study about loops. There are two commonly used loops in Python language. So number one is for loop and number second is while loop. So we're going to discuss in detail one by one. Okay, first of all I'm going to discuss about for loop. So what is for loop? For loop repeats a set of statements over a group of values, which means that we can repeat a set of statements with a certain repetition depending upon the values. So this is the syntax, like we have to use this keyword for, and as it is like for, and then we have to specify here the variable name, any name like x, y, z, or any name. And then we have to use another keyword which is in, and then the group of values. And then we have to put the colon. And then we have to give here the statements which are properly indented. There are few points that we should always keep in mind while working on for loops. So we indent the statement to be repeated with tabs or spaces. So this is what I have already discussed, like indentation in Python language is very important. Variable name gives the name to each value so you can refer to it in the statement. So this variable name is very important while we are using for loop, and variables are very important in any coding language. Group of values. Group of values can be range of integers specified with the range function. So while we are specifying the group of values, so we are mostly using the built-in method which is range, and then we specify the range of integers. For example, this is the example, and for x in range 1 to 6. So which means that, okay, so this for is a keyword, this x is a variable, in is a keyword, and range is this built-in function, and 1 to 6. So print x squared is x multiplied by x. So 1 is 1, the square of 2 is 4, the square of 3 is 9, the square of 4 is 16, the square of 5 is 25. But the 6 is not included, this is something built in. So anything in the range, the first so the start of the range is inclusive and the end of the range is exclusive. So you have to keep that in mind while coding. And this is the explanation of the inclusive and exclusive stuff. Like the range function specify the range of integers. Range start and stop. The integer between the start inclusive and stop is exclusive. So the start is inclusive, in between is inclusive, but the stop integer is exclusive, like 1. For example, let me get you back. This 1 is inclusive, in between 1 and 6 is inclusive, but 6 will not be included while the execution. Okay guys, so right now we are going to the code editor and do an example of for loop, so that will help us to make our concept clear. Okay, let's do the same example as we have discussed in the lecture. So like we are using the for loop, so for, okay, let me minimize it. Okay, for x in range, this range is a built-in function and it will specify as the range 1 to 6, right? And now we can simply print x, number 1, to make it simple, right? And just run this program. You can see here 1 2 3 4 5. So it starts from 1 and ends at 5. So another thing is, like, get back to the code block and print, okay, print x multiplied by x. So it will give us the square of from 1 to 6. Simply run this program and you can see here the square of 1 is 1, the square of 4 is 4, the square of 2 is 4, and the square of 3 is 9, square of 4 is 16, square of 5 is 25. So we can also add some text in between. So just use your double quotes and type here the square of, right, and then comma x. Let's see. and let's run it. Invalid syntax. Sorry, I forgot to put here a comma. I hope it will work now. So let's run it again. So square of 1 is 1, square of 2 is 4. So square of 3 is 9, square of 4 is 16, square of 5 is 25. So this is the simplest example of for loop I can ever give you. It can also accept a third value specifying the change between the values. So the third value will specify that how the values should change. The third value can tell the loop that the change in the loop or the change in the values can be odd or can be even according to the given value, or it can be a change of 2 or change of 3. So let's do this example. Okay, so now in the third point, range, start, stop and step. So third value is step, and the integer between start is inclusive, stop is exclusive, as we discussed earlier, and by step. So let's do this example as well. So let's go to this code editor. Okay guys, so there are two other very important points regarding for loop. Number one is it can also accept a third value specifying the change between the values. So we can also, specify a third value. First is the start of the range, second is the stop where we want to stop, and third is which will specify that how the loop should move or how the loop should execute. Like if we enter here 2, so it will move by the order of 2, like 1 then 3, or from 0 then 2 then 4 then 6. Or if we put here like 3, so it will move in odd numbers, or it will print the odd numbers, and if we put here 2, so it will print the even numbers. So this third step is also very important sometimes in according to the situation of the program. And the syntax is same, the start is inclusive but the stop is exclusive. Now let's jump into the code editor and I will do this example in front of you. Then it will be easy to understand this thing. Okay, so I'm doing the same example like for I in range, and now at first we type here 1 to 5 simply, and I type here like print x, and when I press on run, so it has printed, x is not defined because I have defined here I, so I is defined. One, two, three, 4. So for that point that we can add a third value which will specify the change in the loop. So we can do that by just specifying here 2, right? So now let's run it, and I just want to increase the range from 1 to 10. So I want to print the numbers from 1 to 10 by the difference of 2, or by the addition of 2, whatever you want to, So 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. So the numbers are jumping by the difference of 2, like 1 and then 2 is missing and then 3. Then 4 is missing and then 5. 6 is missing and then 7. So we are getting the odd numbers, right? So same thing we can do in the reverse order. Like for that I have to type here like 10, comma, 1, comma, minus 1. So it will move in reverse order. So let's run this. I hope you are getting all these points. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And this is the stop of the loop. Like 1 is the stop and 10 is start. So now 10 is inclusive and 1 is exclusive. So, and we are, printing this by the difference of -1. So that's why it is printing in reverse order. So this is all about for loop. I hope you learned something and it was very easy to use, and you can easily practice all these concepts of Python from the different online websites. So please practice it by yourself and make yourself pro in Python language. So that's it for today. See you in the next lecture.